Today should mark the beginning of a new opportunity, an opportunity for us to make a difference in our governance and our economic management. We shall reset our dear nation, Ghana.
Now, Ghana, Africa's top gold producer, has waged a war against the growing smuggling of the precious metal in the country. To curb illicit trading, President Dramani Mahama has launched a task force that will include police officials as well as soldiers. Now, this is the first ever national level initiative to curb gold smuggling, or as they say in Ghana, Gulam Singh.
The world is quietly entering a new industrial race, and Africa is right at its center. While headlines still focus on oil, gas, and gold, something far more valuable is being unearthed. Nickel, the metal that powers electric vehicles, renewable grids, and tomorrow's energy storage systems. In a matter of years, African nations have gone from overlooked suppliers to major contenders, drawing global investors from China, the Middle East, and even Western automakers desperate to secure future supply. Nickel is the unsung hero of modern technology. It strengthens stainless steel, forms the core of batteries, and defines the future of electric mobility. For decades, Indonesia and Russia dominated production. But as geopolitical risks grew, automakers began searching for stable, resource-rich partners, and Africa, with its unexplored geological belts, emerged as the answer. Across the continent, surveys are revealing nickel deposits in Tanzania, Zimbabwe, Madagascar, and South Africa that rival the world's biggest mines. In Tanzania alone, new exploration licenses have confirmed high-grade ores near Kabanga, one of the richest undeveloped nickel deposits on Earth. Tanzania's government, once wary of foreign miners, has rewritten its mining code to ensure the country keeps more of the profits. The Kabanga Nickel Project, now backed by a $1 billion partnership between Kabanga Nickel Ltd. and international investors, aims to produce battery-grade nickel with near-zero emissions through on-site refining, a first in Africa. In Zimbabwe, the government is expanding nickel output through its value addition strategy. Mines near Bandura and Trojan are being modernized, while new exploration deals bring investment from China and the UAE. For decades, African minerals were exported raw. Now, these countries are building refineries, smelters, and battery material plants, ensuring the value chain stays on the continent. Nickel is essential for electric vehicles, and the West's clean energy targets depend on it. Yet sanctions, supply chain risks, and inflation have made sourcing it harder than ever. African nickel could fill the gap, but this time, African leaders are negotiating from a position of strength. Instead of simply exporting, governments are signing deals that include local processing, technology transfer, and training programs for engineers. That means every ton of nickel exported also builds African jobs and industry capacity. According to the African Development Bank, the continent's battery metal sector could exceed $150 billion by 2035. From Rwanda's small-scale miners to South Africa's industrial hubs, private capital is pouring in. The European Union and the United States are scrambling to form partnerships, not out of charity, but out of need. Tesla, Volkswagen, and BYD have all expressed interest in securing sustainable African nickel. Meanwhile, China is already ahead. Chinese firms are funding smelters in Tanzania and storage facilities across East Africa. Infrastructure remains Africa's biggest obstacle: limited rail lines, power shortages, and financing gaps. But that's changing fast. The African Continental Free Trade Area, AfCFTA, is reducing tariffs and creating a single market for mineral goods. The new Pan-African Payment and Settlement System, PAPSS, allows cross-border trade in local currencies, cutting transaction costs by up to 5%. With regional corridors like the Central Corridor in Tanzania and the Beira Corridor in Mozambique expanding, Africa is integrating its mineral logistics like never before. Another surprise: Africa may produce the greenest nickel in the world. Hydropower in Tanzania, solar plants in Botswana, and wind farms in Kenya are powering mines with clean electricity. When Western automakers talk about sustainable sourcing, African nickel fits the narrative: low emissions, high standards, and traceable supply. This environmental edge gives Africa a competitive advantage that even larger producers struggle to match. As African nickel flows into battery factories in Europe and Asia, global supply chains are realigning. More refining in Africa means fewer raw exports through traditional Western intermediaries. The financial benefit is huge. Analysts estimate that Africa could retain up to $30 billion annually by processing its own minerals instead of exporting them raw. That's new wealth, staying in Africa, building African industries, and financing African infrastructure. With demand for EV batteries projected to multiply sixfold by 2030, Africa's nickel and cobalt reserves are now geopolitical assets. The African Union has proposed an African Battery Alliance to coordinate policy, pricing, and local manufacturing. If implemented, it could transform the continent into the world's next energy hub, independent, profitable, and technologically advanced. The story of Africa's nickel boom is more than a mining tale. It's a signal that the global economic order is changing, and this time, Africa isn't on the sidelines. From the savannas of Tanzania to the industrial parks of South Africa, a new chapter is being written. Africa, the supplier of the world's clean energy future. Not by chance, but by strategy, innovation, and unity. The world is watching, and the future of energy may well be written in African metal.